Shalom, Erev Tov, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcast to you from Jerusalem. Hamas fails to return all of the deceased hostages within the time frame stipulated in President Trump's 21-point plan. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan warns Israel not to breach the cessation of hostilities. A United Nations commissioned rapid damage and needs assessment indicates that reconstruction of the Gaza Strip will cost $70 billion. Upon completion of the identification process of Israel's National Institute of Forensic Medicine, IDF representatives have informed the families of Guy Iluz, Bipin Joshi, Yossi Sharabi, and Daniel Peretz that their loved ones have been brought back for burial. 4 additional caskets with the remains of presumed hostages were released overnight by the terrorist organization Hamas. They were transferred to Israel's National Institute of Forensic Medicine for further identification. However, it is important to underscore that the Islamist Hamas continues to hold 20 hostages who were murdered in captivity, which is in direct violation of President Donald Trump's outline, as it has been required to fulfill its commitment to return all of the hostages to their families for proper burial in Israel today.
There was a kind of great mood when the live hostages came out. And then we were dealing with the deceased one, which is tough. But then only to receive 4 of them was a huge disappointment. And since then we haven't heard how it's going to be, how it's going to be corrected, so to speak. We haven't heard anything from any channel, not the Americans, not Trump or Witkoff, and we haven't heard, through Israeli channels of what are they going to do.
At this moment, we haven't been told anything, but right now, there's a violation of the agreement. And this is a very complex and layered agreement, and on purpose, because every step that we take, there is something to be given in exchange, because this is the way leverage works, especially when there's so much distrust between the two sides. And right now, there is a violation of the agreement. 48 hostages have not been brought back, and we demand of the Israeli government, and we demand of everybody involved, especially the US and the Arab countries that vouch this agreement, we demand them to take action.
Turning to the Rabin Medical Center in the central Israeli city of Petah Tikva, where medical staff are closely monitoring 5 out of the 20 hostages who were returned to Israel on Monday.
אנחנו רואים את השבים מהרגע שהם מגיעים, ואנחנו בעצם עושים 2 דברים. דבר ראשון, שוקלים אותם ובודקים את בדיקות הדם שלהם כדי לראות את המחסורים האמיתיים, לראות כמה חסרים ויטמינים, מינרלים, כמה הם ירדו במשקל לעומת המשקל לפני. הדבר השני שאנחנו עושים זה בודקים איתם מה הם אכלו בשבוע האחרון, מה הם אכלו בשנתיים האחרונות, ובהתאם למה שהם אכלו וכמה שהם ירדו במשקל ובדיקות הדם שלהם, יחד עם הרעב או התיאבון שלהם, אנחנו בונים משהו שנכון להם ומתאים להם למצב של אותו רגע.
Families of the hostages who've been reunited with their loved ones are providing a glimpse into the first days since their release from the brutality of Hamas captivity, stressing an anticipated process of healing.
הוא נראה לי חיוור, הוא נראה לי, יש לו קצת כוויות על הידיים. שאלתי אותו מה זה, הוא אמר לי, סבתא זה בסדר, זה לא נורא, זה יסתדר. חיבקתי אותו, שאלתי אותו אם החיבוק הוא חזק, אז הוא אמר לא, הכל בסדר, את יכולה, אני בסדר גמור. הייתי מרוצה מאוד לראות אותו, וזה היה החלום שלנו.
So איתן was released less than 24 hours ago, so he's not sharing so much. He's just like throwing here and there some stories. He asked for meat, and when he got this plate with this huge piece of meat, he was excited, and I saw tears in his eyes, and I think that means a lot. And then I saw him eating vegetables, and he said, you know, now he never had vegetables before, he didn't like it. And he said, I'm eating vegetables now in any texture, even those who are rotten and not good for normal people to eat. And you know, it's like a knife in your stomach, because you understand that in order to survive, they literally did everything they could. And I don't know, it's ups and downs all the time. He's sharing something and then we're laughing about something else, and he's hugging my kids all the time. He needs to touch them and embrace them and you know, and see that he's really home.
Turning to the Gaza Strip, where the Islamist Hamas clearly indicates that it intends to remain in the enclave, effectively committing extrajudicial killings of any opposition and bolstering its presence in the streets to convey to the residents of Gaza that they intend to rule. Ironically, Hamas also claims that the oppressed residents under their feet in Gaza welcome their controlled assertion.
الناس رحبت كثيرا بهذا الانتشار وجاءت تسلم علينا وتخبرنا أن نقف معها وأن نقف ضد هؤلاء اللصوص المنتشرين ولو كانوا قليلا، لكن هذا يبعث روح الطمأنينة عند الناس.
Turning to Ankara, where Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who is expected by US President Donald Trump to keep the Islamist Hamas in check vis-a-vis the implementation of the agreement, has relayed a threat to Israel, claiming Jerusalem had a very poor record in respecting ceasefires, and vowed that Ankara would enforce the American-led ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. President Erdogan continued by highlighting that President Trump's outline, which also includes Qatar and Egypt as guarantors, would ultimately bring about lasting peace for the entire Middle East and will serve as the foundation for the establishment of a Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital.
Şarm El Şeyh'te güçlü bir irade ortaya koyduk. Amerikan Başkanı Sayın Trump, Mısır Cumhurbaşkanı Sayın Es-Sisi, Katar Emiri Şeyh Temim'le birlikte imzaladığımız dörtlü deklarasyonun bölgemizde kalıcı barışa giden yolda yeni bir kilometre taşı olmasını ümit ediyorum. Arzumuz, dün atılan anlamlı adımın kalıcı ve adil bir barışla taşlanmasıdır. Hiç şüphesiz bunun tek yolu da 1967 sınırları temelinde başkenti Doğu Kudüs olan bağımsız, egemen, toprak bütünlüğüne sahip bir Filistin devletinin kurulmasıdır.
The Turkish leader, whose country has long grappled with a strained economy, continues to eye the planned reconstruction of the Gaza Strip as a golden opportunity to gain a large piece of the pie.
Gazze'nin yeniden ayağa kaldırılması muhtemelen yıllar alacak. Olayın bir inşa süresi var, bir de ihya süresi var. İnşa ve ihya. Ve Türkiye'nin üzerine burada önemli bir görev düşüyor. Tabii bunu başta Amerika olmak üzere Körfez ülkeleri hep birlikte görüşecek, tartışacak ve bu konuda ne gibi adımlar atacağımızı bir karara bağlayacağız.
It is important to highlight that the United Nations commissioned rapid damage and needs assessment, which was jointly conducted by the UN, the European Union, and the World Bank, provided high estimates indicating an ask of roughly $70 billion for the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip.
RDNA, which was jointly done by the UN, the European Union, and the World Bank, estimate that about $70 billion will be required for the reconstruction of Gaza. That means that also in the next 3 years, about $20 billion will be required.
It's interesting to note that while Arab and Muslim countries have already pledged to President Donald Trump that they would heavily invest in the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip, the European Union, which is grappling with a tough economic forecast of its own, has already informed the United Nations that it will make substantive contributions to the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I would like to highlight that TV7 Israel is exclusively donation-based, with all of our daily updates aired free of charge. Therefore, if you're blessed by the content of our programs from Jerusalem and would like to help TV7 continue to air our productions regularly, please support TV7 Israel with a donation. You can do so via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, I would like to encourage you to keep praying for the return of all of the hostages, the deceased ones, to be reunited with their families for burial here in Israel. Pray also for the Christians and Druze besieged right now by Damascus in southern Syria, and the Christian community in Nigeria as well. And last, but certainly not least, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hessen wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, until our next update, Shalom from Jerusalem.